Hey guys, MasterShake here. This tutorial is going to show you how to set up a Craft Bucket server and install a common plugin called MCMMO. Uh, it also applies to all plugins, but this is just the plugin I chose because it was probably one of the most common plugins to use with a Craft Bucket server. So let's start by making a folder on our desktop. New folder. We're going to name this Craft Server. Okay. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to go to bucket.org. Here's the link right here. I will add a context menu with the link to the website. Now what you're going to do is you're going to scroll down on this page. You're going to go to where it says recommended builds, and if that's not there at the time you go to this website, you can always try going to bucket dev and getting the download there. Alright, so we're going to download this recommended build right here. Okay, we're going to hit keep and let it download. Slow computer today. It's very upset with me. Just compiled like a 2-hour video and it's not very happy. Anyway, so let's go ahead and drag that in there. Alright, so if we double click on this, let me just get rid of this little apostrophe 1 here. Alright, so we're going to double click on this, and what's going to happen is actually no context is going to come up, but they're going to get a little swirly, and then you're going to have a couple folders in here. So this is where you edit your information for your server. You can use Notepad to open this. So you would do that by right-clicking, going up to Open With, and you would go down here to Other Programs because it will not be in Recommended Programs, and you will click WordPad or Notepad. In this case, I'm going to use Notepad. Alright, so this is going to be your server port. This is going to be your basic settings here. Now I'm going to show you how to install MCMMO. So if you can see the thread link here, I will put that in the description of this video as well. Scroll down here and see, find the earliest download link that you can find for this particular plugin. So we're going to go ahead and go to DL here in their thread. We will click download and we are going to click keep. So that is the plugin. So because I started this the way I did, I'm going to have to go in here to processes and find Java, this one right here. That's actually the updater, but I'm going to end that as well, just in case. This one, that's java w.exe, and hit end process. So I just closed my server. So now we're going to take this and drag this straight into the plugins folder, just the Java file. And now what's going to happen is we're going to launch the server by double-clicking on the jar executable file. And it should be loaded now. Now you're going to have plugin metric, so you're going to configure your plugin through this. Okay, and then you're also going to configure your plugins through here. And this will give you, all your basic, stuff that you'll have to configure for the MCMMO, but this is not a tutorial on that plugin, so we're going to stick with the server. So by default, your server will be on 25565. Right now, nobody outside of your house can connect. For instance, let me show you how to connect if you are just doing it for yourself. So you're going to log into Minecraft. I'm not going to update right this second. Once you log into Minecraft, go to multiplayer, and we're going to hit delete. Okay, now I want you to hit direct connect and put in 127.0.0.1 and hit join server. This will automatically log you into your Minecraft server. So this is the Minecraft server I just set up just now. Alright, as you can see, the plugin is running. Alright, so that's how you would connect to your server. Alright, now the next step is to port forward. So in order to do that, we have to go into our router. Now every router is different, but you look for anything that has to do with NAT, QLST, port forwarding, port range forwarding, or anything like that. This is DDWRT firmware. It's a different firmware for a router. I didn't like the default stuff. So click on that, and typically your password for your router is going to be admin or administrator or something along those lines, but you can look it up on Google what your default router password and username are. I set mine custom. You might have to ask your parents or your sister or your brother or your mother. So what we're going to do is, as you can see, I've already got the port forward in here. You can see port forwarding. So what we're going to do is we're going to type in, the application name, so minecraft.exe. Okay, we'll just pretend like that's what we're putting in there. 25565 is going to be the default port, unless you went into this file right here and changed the port. I choose both because I'm not exactly sure if it's TCP or UDP or both, so I put in both. But you can go ahead and try it on UDP first. And then IP address. Now don't get confused, this is not your external IP address or the one that you use to connect to your server. If you go over here to CMD and type in IP config and scroll up, this is your default gateway. This is how you would get into your router, which I should have explained first. So if you want, pause the video now, go look at see what the default address is. That is how you'll get into your router to port forward. If you don't have a router, you don't have to worry about it. IPv4 address. Now, so this is the IP that it's asking for here. It's your internal IP. So you're going to go ahead and put your internal IP address where it says IPv4 address. And then port 2 is going to be the same as the port from. And then you're going to enable apply settings. Now this will allow people to connect from outside of your network. And the easiest way to test this is just to have somebody try and connect. Anyway, if you guys would like a more in-depth tutorial on how to port forward, comment and post and let me know. If you have any other questions, go ahead and pop up a comment and I'll get to answering them. Thanks for watching. Peace.